We also have an update on the Alien television series from Noah Hawley from Fargo and Legion series. So yeah, there's a new movie coming out, Alien Romulus, and Noah Hawley's Alien series has also been in development for probably just as long, and it is also a prequel after the Prometheus movies, but before Alien and all that. And it's also set on Earth. Noah Hawley's Alien series gets a terrifyingly good update. So yeah, we haven't heard much about this series, just like casting updates and certain character roles, but there's still a lot we don't know as far as like how the story is going to proceed, especially because it's on Earth. So one of the cast members came out in an interview with Variety. Sandra Yee Senkendiver, I hope I didn't butcher that name, star of Geek Girl and The Wheel of Time, has officially given a promising update about the upcoming Alien prequel series for FX. The project thus far has been intriguingly mysterious, with much information kept tightly under wraps, leading many in the fandom to assume big surprises are on their way. Sandra came out and mentioned just how exciting the series will be and how the prequel will take inspiration from its predecessors. She noted, quote, "I think that especially the fans who love films number 1, Ridley Scott's Alien, and 2, James Cameron's Aliens, will be very pleased with the universe and the world building in this reimagining." She went on to say, "A lot of brilliant people, a lot of very interesting character actors who are very dedicated, and of course Noah Hawley is just a brilliant storyteller." So that's what Alien Romulus, the film that is coming out next month, was also striving to do. Fede Alvarez, he mentioned that as well, that he really wanted to honor and live up to the spirit of the first 2 films. And it looks like his movie is kind of like a blend of both, but it definitely has the more like intense action of Aliens, but also has like the more isolated feel, tension that made the first film special as well. And it looks like Noah Hawley is having that same approach. I remember earlier he came out and said that he didn't really like the lore that was centered around, or that was introduced in the recent prequel films, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, where he didn't like the look of the technology because it didn't make sense to him with the retro futurism look that we saw in the Alien films. And he's just like, everything looks like an Apple store. This doesn't really fit to the films that I love, that I grew up loving. And he wanted his series to more accurately reflect the time period of those original movies. So he's saying that that wasn't really useful to him, that yes, he wanted to do the retro futuristic look that was in the first 2 films, but also when it came to the lore surrounding the xenomorphs themselves, he wanted them to adhere to how they were introduced, which was more like just this perfect life form, you know, that evolved over millions of years, and as opposed to just this bioengineered weapon. So he said that that wasn't of use to him in his series. So that's good to keep in mind, that at least these new additions to the franchise seem like they're trying to focus on what fans loved about the franchise to begin with, and just do that old school feel, what fans loved those movies for. The look, the alien creatures. We'll see how Alien Romulus handles that, but the trailers look like he's doing that. In terms of Noah Hawley's series, I mean, that's going to be more interesting in terms of like, where is this going to go and how is this going to fit? Because it's set on Earth as opposed to space or another planet or the like. So that's going to be different. And I like that it is different, but I hope that, yes, it keeps within the lore that's been established at least. And I think it's going to talk about, or it's going to handle certain things about the Weyland-Yutani Corporation in Noah Hawley's show. So it goes on to say that since the show has been announced, the upcoming Alien series will be set even further back, ready to investigate the formation of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation on Earth. And Ridley Scott is also on board as executive producer. I think he was also executive producer on the Alien Romulus as well. So he's somewhat involved in at least the creative process to a degree, despite Noah Hawley going in this certain focused direction with his entry to the franchise. The cast includes Sidney Chandler, Alex Lothar as CJ, Timothy Olyphant as Kirsch, which I believe he is an android. I believe Timothy Olyphant's character is synthetic, I think. And Essie Davis as Dame Sylvia. The series is currently in production, while filming is expected to finish sometime this summer, leading many to suspect a 2025 premiere may be on the cards. All of this takes place in the shadow of the upcoming Alien Romulus, which is scheduled for an August 16th release date. And this article ends by saying you can watch the most recent installment in the franchise, Alien Covenant, right now on Disney+. Oh my goodness, that's so weird. It's so weird to have these like horror, very mature movies on Disney Plus. That's so strange to me because they own everything. And in regards to this franchise, they own 20th Century Fox, I believe. I think that's the studio that had it. So now they can put it on there on Disney Plus. The Prometheus films are interesting, but they totally muddy things up if you try to hold it all together in your head. I agree. It's interesting, and there's some good performances in there. I thought Michael Fassbender was very interesting, and Naomi Rapace. But yeah, it does muddle things. And I think when you try to over-explain things, that's kind of what happens. I like the aliens and the xenomorphs being somewhat of a mystery. I think it's just fascinating things for fans to ruminate on and to debate about. I actually liked Prometheus if I pretend it's not an alien film, and I hate how Ridley Scott threw out Elizabeth Shaw's story and ruined the xenomorph origins in Alien Covenant. Yeah. I think that's pretty much the wider sentiment that, yeah, people thought Prometheus is okay, but that Alien Covenant is just like, no, there's... I rarely see any positive thoughts or opinions about that movie. Not gonna lie, I like Timothy Olyphant. I do too. I'm really intrigued to see his performance in this. I like him in everything he's in.